Probably not. Anyway, we got after that classic line, we have a classic weekend at the Curragh Tattersalls Irish Guineas weekend. We'll start with the big one, 2,000 guineas. Ellercam tops the market here. Wonderfully bred, out of a Guineas winner. Is he?
Possibly once further.
Possibly once further. Yeah.
I love Richard Hill's comments during the week. It's just like, expect him to win. It's great to say that. Yeah,
Love
just
that.
a lot of confidence. I'm not sure if he's anything like his mother in the sense, but I think his action might be slightly like her. She had really distinct action, and she kind of had to have fast ground, but she probably would be more at home with the Curragh. He didn't really seem to handle the dip particularly well.
No, he did his best work in the last couple of furlongs.
Yeah, and he was keen. And Mark Johnson's horses are an unbelievable form. It's a yard I can never get my head around. I find them impossible to predict, but at the moment they seem to be less impossible. They're in great form. I was at Aidan's last Monday. He spoke about Gustav Klimt. A very rare thing for Aidan to say. He said, I expected better of him, to be honest. I thought he'd run better. And I didn't think he'd any real excuses. I think he might come on for the run. Wouldn't be surprised if he went off favourite, to be honest. But I'm with Ellercam. Maybe slight jury out in US Navy flag as to whether he's trained on.
Yeah, and Ellercam, there did seem to be a hint at Newmarket that there was a slight worry about whether he should have run before the Guineas get a prep, because he is quite a big horse.
Yeah, and if that is the case, he'll come on a lot. He was very fresh as well, the way he raced.
And he's lightly raced.
Very lightly raced. I think Frank will be a sensational stallion, probably more with Derby horses and Guineas horses, but this lad can provide him with the first Irish Guineas anyway.
Your thoughts?
Yeah,
Jenna?
couldn't agree more with Johnny. A couple of things to note on what Johnny said. Ellercam didn't break particularly well, and then it was almost to get into a position, probably had to be rushed up a little bit, and then the knock-on effect of that was he was quite keen, and just in the last kind of couple of furlongs just took time to just get himself together and get
kept
into
on then.
Yeah, kept on nicely. And as you said, Richard Hills, I love stuff like that, where he just completely honest, look, it's the best horse in the race, I think he'll win. I agree. On Gustav Klimt, I was very, very keen on Gustav Klimt in the Guineas at Newmarket. And it was one of them rare occasions where you're watching a race and you're absolutely thrilled the whole way through. Shamey had them in the perfect position, just off the pace, sitting in fourth or fifth. And then you're just expecting, come on now, Shamey, let's get going. And it just never arrived. He hasn't really grown.
Top four, and I thought it was a gift. The price
he hasn't really grown either. He strikes me as a colt that mightn't just progress as much as planned. And the vibes from the stable and from jockey bookings are that US Navy flag is going to fly the Ballydoyle flag in this. But I think that Ellercam has got the most improvement. I think he could win quite convincingly.
The one thing about that as well, about what you're saying, when you miss the break and then you're rushing up a horse who's making his seasonal debut in a
just
classic,
blow their head off.
It must be the biggest between a rock and a hard place for a jockey. It's like, I don't want to rouse him along here, but I kind of need a position. And then all of a sudden you're taking a pull and you're like, this is,
It's incredibly inefficient.
It is. So it's just so important to get into a rhythm early on, I think, in a race like this, particularly with an inexperienced horse.
Yeah, let's move on to the Green and Stakes at 3:35.